สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning and welcome to Morning Thailand. I'm Wanasan Kurhong.
And I'm Thanannapat Noivien. Good morning. Thanks for joining on the program. It's Wednesday, December the 25th, 2013. Happy Christmas, Kun Gaf.
Of course, Merry Christmas to all. And of course, today there will be a lot of interesting events for sure, especially with the anticipation of the registration of a lot of candidates that will be running or contest in this particular general election that's coming up next year on February the 2nd. Yesterday, Kun Tulip and I, we reported a little bit about the fact that a lot of candidates find it very difficult to actually get inside the venue itself, just to register themselves. So this will be one of the most interesting part for sure. However, just to give you an update of what is going on, another very interesting event took place yesterday, Kun Phai, and this is actually involving the Prime Minister's police who are guarding the Prime Minister, especially. Now, mind you, at this time, the Prime Minister is actually in the provinces in order to pretty much looking around in the provinces in different provinces in order to visit various local authorities, as part of the caretaker Prime Minister's responsibility. However, there has been a report that yesterday early in the morning at about 15 minutes after midnight, so quarter after midnight. Yesterday, an incident took place where two of the teachers, female teachers, who actually in the Phetchabun province, this is according to the two teachers, of course. They claim that the police guards that actually guarding the Prime Minister pretty much chasing their cars around. They were driving a Toyota pickup truck, which is actually heading from the Tung Samaw Kam Son road and heading towards their resort. And they say that as they were driving, Kun Thitirat Pakam, which is the driver, she said that she was driving the car and then she was heading to the resort of Thong Jarat Sang Resort, where she actually supposed to be staying with her friend Kun Cholatan Bao Asa. And they say that as they were driving, they have seen that there's a car behind them. But the problem was they say that they heard loud noises that it sounded like a gunshot that has been fired at them. However, they say that at first they thought that it might have been meant for some other car. So she slowed down. She slowed down the car a little bit, then hoping that this particular pickup truck behind her would actually drove by. However, it didn't. And they say that later on, once both of them got to the resort, 3 more pickup trucks came. So altogether, 4 pickup trucks, 9 of the policemen came out and approached them. Now, Kun Thitirat said that she tried to tell them that they were just 2 teachers, female teachers that residing in that resort. However, the police didn't seem to mind, and they trying to search the car as well as trying to have them check their urine for any types of drugs or substances. So then later on, she said that her husband is actually a police officer himself. So later on, they have to pretty much find her husband. Her husband has to come and identify it. And apparently, according to the Prime Minister's police guard, they say that there has been a pickup truck similar to hers that was driven around the area where the Prime Minister was staying. And that's why they thought that they were kind of mistaken her pickup truck to that particular pickup truck that was kind of circling around the residence of the Prime Minister during the time when she visited Phetchabun. However, she said that at this point, she filed complaints because they fired a gun at her car, and that caused the right tire to actually broke. And she said that to explode. And she said that it could have been worse because these are just 2 women in a car, and if you fired before you actually realize that who was actually in the car, this could cause severe injuries or even death.
This is one of the things, just to be more careful, because when the acting Prime Minister was on a visit to provinces, security measures would be tightened, and it's a quarter past midnight, right? So just lingering around in the area close to her staying place.
Could deem. Yeah, but for these two, they were quite upset. Obviously, we can understand because if you just happen to be in the area and these just two women, it would just, it doesn't look like it posed any threat. Therefore, I think the police guards will have to be answering.
Yeah, hopefully we've got some press conference or interviews from the officers,
there needs to be one,
from the police escort in the area. Now moving down south, the situation seems to be not getting any better. Even though we are approaching the end of the year already, there's been negotiations between the National Security Council with several separatist groups, but attacks has become a daily occurrence in the area. Yesterday, police in Banangsta district of Yala province had visited the scene where there were reports of 3 gunmen that had opened fire on Kun Sakariya Hengdada, the victim, and he was the member of the sub-district administration office in Banangkuwe, sub-district of Banangsata district in Yala province. Kun Sakariya was shot dead while he was attending a religious ceremony inside a mosque, Nurul Ibadah Mosque, and the incident happened since Tuesday, December the 24th, and police had inspected the scene. They found the body of Kun Sakariya, the victim, and 3 more injured people. Witnesses said that 3 gunmen dressed in the army uniform had just appeared from a bush near the mosque and then opened fire on Mr. Sakariya here, causing him to die instantly. They believe that it was the act of the separatist movement in the area. They just want to create a scene. However, later on at 3 p.m., police in the Yala municipality had been informed of a bomb explosion on the what is the name of the road here? On the in front of the gas station in Tasab sub-district of Yala municipality. They said that police in the police vehicles, police cars, had just made a U-turn in front of the gas station after filling their vehicle, and then bomb exploded at the U-turn point. They said that the separatist group might have hidden a homemade bomb under the drainage pipe on the road and then detonated a bomb after seeing the police vehicles left from the gas station. Fortunately, no one was killed in this incident, just 2 police officers injured. They believe also that it was an act of the Mr. Rocky Darlaw, the leader of the separatist movement that has been active in the area. Now moving on to the Pattani province, at 9:30 in the morning, police have been reported of the bomb explosion on the road in Pattani Panare district. However, no one was killed or injured. It was so lucky there because the incident happened earlier in the morning when no one was using that particular road to travel. In the afternoon in Pattani province, police have been greeting one particular person, Mr. Wan Gorde Jeman. He, the former head of the Bersatu separatist movement, who has recently returned to Pattani province after 20 years in exile, and he was one of the project what should we call? Bring people home. This is a project where we give a pardon to the convicted people who had been in exile, that had shown signs of remorse and then want to return to Thailand to do something good and to improve the situation. Kun Wan Gerdi said that the violence in the far south was continuing because the authorities have been holding the peace talks with the wrong separatist group. He said that he backed the government's move to hold peace talks. However, he said that they may yield negative results if the negotiations were held with a group that was not active in the area. So this is one of the things. Kun Wan Gaudier said that police should just find which group that has been creating the situation and caused an attack on local officers and people there. However, it is not easy to pinpoint which groups that should be responsible for the incidents that happened in the down south.
Right, and that's one of the things too, that peace talk has been stalled for quite a bit now. And the thing is, we do facing the political tension inside the country itself, especially in the capital, and that's create a little bit of, I guess, less priority for the situation down south, which we know for sure that there has been a daily violence, and it is sad for people who have to live in that particular situation. Moving on to another incident, this time involve the wildlife preservation, the endangered species in Thailand. Now we do have what we call, it looks like an antelope, of course, but it's actually called serow, which is the, well, according to the definition, they say it's almost like a goat antelope, but is black in color. Now, there has been a clip that has been circulating in social media, and one of the television station actually picked it up and showcased it. It's a picture, or in the clip itself, it's a footage of a bunch. Well, about 6 of the men, as you can see there, in the what they call a plant. That belongs to a cement, TPI cement plant station. And they said that these particular serow actually randomly ran into the area. We blurred the picture, the image, because what happened after that was that one of the men actually used iron pipe and knocked the serow down. However, of course, after this particular clip has been circulated, of course, local authorities, especially those that work in the wildlife preservation, has actually pressed charges against the people in this particular plant. This took place in Kai district of Saraburi province, and they say that at the time when the charges has been, or the complaints had been made, the local authorities along with the police, especially Kai local authorities, actually went to this particular cement TPI plant to actually approach and probe Kun Somsak Klang, one of the 6 men who appeared in the footage itself, and they say that they saw that the serow, this wildlife, actually ran inside the plant. So what they did was that, according to Kun Somsak, he said that they tried to knock the serow down, which is another type of antelope, and they say that later on they picked it up and put it in a pickup truck and then sent it off in a wild. However, a lot of local authorities, especially those that work in the wildlife preservation, did not really buy it, because they say that as it appeared in the picture, the way that he actually hit it, it doesn't look like it would survive after the incident. It was quite severe. So at this point, another person that wasn't at the plant at the time and claimed to be the person that was the one that piped the serow down is Vinay Wetana, aged 40. So at this point, a very intense investigation will be under this particular group of people, because they believe that this particular wildlife did not make it to the wild as claimed. So probably a little bit more information to be updated later on to see whether or not this particular case is actually, went up in the wild. However, they say that at this point, for the endangered species, if you assault them or you hurt them or kill them at any cost, the punishment is 4 years in jail and a fine of no more than 40,000 baht.
Yeah, luckily someone has already recorded.
And I don't think that they recorded because they would, trying to file charges either. I think at this point, a lot of people recorded things because they want to show it off.
Yeah. Now, speaking about wildlife, there was an update on the case where several bodies of gaurs had been found in the Kui Buri National Park in Prachuap Khiri Khan province. Yesterday, we have reported that 13 bodies have already been discovered in the area. And yesterday, authorities have been visiting the area of the Kui Buri National Park and found 3 more bodies of the gaurs.
I wonder if they find the cause yet, because
Not
they
yet.
were like, either it's toxin or whether or not it's like the disease, but these are
Right.
actually quite
This is
bad.
very suspicious
Yeah.
because the bodies that have been discovered, there were no bullet holes or any injuries or wounded on their bodies. Yesterday, the permanent secretary of the National Police Bureau, Police Major General Chalermkiat Siwarakhan, had visited the Kui Buri National Park together with Kun Pongpan Vichian Samut, Kui Buri governor, together with Kun Pricha Wityapan, the head of the Kui Buri National Park. They had visited the scene, the area where they had found 3 more gaurs carcass there yesterday. They said that recently during this week there had been 6 bodies of the animals that have been discovered in the area, and they said that their bodies show no sign of bullet wounds or other injuries, so probably the animals had died on different days and locations within a 2-kilometer radius. That might be the result of toxins from the plants in the area, might be some kind of toxic plant there. So authorities have to inspect the scenes and collect water and other samples for toxic tests. Authorities said that results should be out within 2 weeks. Kun Thirapat Prayun Rasit, the Deputy Director of the National Park Wildlife and Plant Conservation Department, said that tomorrow officers from the Pollution Control Department will visit the area to collect samples of the water and the plants within the areas that the animals had been found after New Year's. They expect the result to be out, and that will be the time that they could conclude what caused the death of a lot of animals here, because in total 16 bodies have been found.
That's quite a bit. And that's the thing, like if we can't pinpoint yet, I don't think we can stop it from happening again. And this is part of I think one of those endangered species here in Thailand too. So
And it was weird because the area that the animals had been found dead was the area that had been restricted to locals and peoples there. A lot of local residents in the area expressed concern as well about the death of a lot of animals in the area there. Now, the national park officials had already sealed off the area for tourist safety and to allow officials to access to gather the information on the animals' cases here.
All right. Now, with that, we're going to take a short break, of course. When we come back, a little bit of updates in terms of weather condition. And yesterday, Bangkok has been quite hectic, not because of the protests, but because, of course, our SkyTrain, the BTS, actually broke down for 5 hours. So we're going to give you more updates on those. Stay tuned.